live in denial and just pretend it never happened. No, you know what? This might be a baby boo plant. That might be a baby boo. It genuinely just tastes like something I shouldn't be eating. Hey guys, welcome back to my allotment diaries. My name is Emma, these are my allotment diaries. I'd love for you to hit the subscribe button. So, just before I get into this video, I just want to say something. And I want to say it without alarming anyone, because I don't want any of you to think I'm unsafe or get worried about me or anything like that. But I do think it's important to say these things because it's important for me to kind of address the reality of allotment life, especially when I'm inspiring so many young women to go out there alone and take on a plot by themselves. But I got a message in my sort of allotment WhatsApp group today that there are a group of men who have started breaking into the allotments and sort of camping out in the woods, which is those, you know, that beautiful kind of woodland that I walk through to get here. So they've kind of set up a little camp there and they've been like staying at night and drinking and stuff and causing a bit of mayhem. So obviously there's another entrance to the allotment plot which is off a main road, and I've been using that basically recently just to avoid it, which is a shame but necessary. And I'm not saying this to kind of make you worried. The last thing I want to do is make anybody out there, you know, feel concerned for me or anything, but I do think it's important to address these things. Like I said, these vlogs are meant to inspire you, and especially young women, to go out there and give allotment growing a go and be like, you can do it on your own, it's fine, just take on a plot by yourself like I have. But particularly if you are in not even just London but just a built up area and you've got an allotment plot, just think of your safety and be careful and be safe, and don't assume that these places, you know, are completely safe, because you still get nutcases around here and you still get dangers and stuff. You have to look after yourself basically is what I'm saying. So I thought I'd just start the vlog by saying that, because I feel like it's a really important message that I probably don't say enough. Anyway, I'm glad I said that, because like I said, I think it's important just to keep saying it. Just be realistic about allotment life. You know, it's wonderful, it's fantastic, it's a beautiful community here, but just keep yourself safe, you know, especially any girls out there going out, getting a plot on their own. I hate to be responsible for anything, you know, not so nice happening, so just take care of yourselves basically. Anyway, how are you all? How are your gardens growing? I think that's going to be my new saying now. I've decided on it. I've officially trademarked it. I'm joking, I don't think you can do that. But how are your gardens growing right now? So we are in the middle of August. The weather in the UK is absolutely rubbish. Really been struggling to get down here just because it's been raining so much, and I think we're due so much rain this afternoon as well. Fortunately, it has meant that everything is really growing and it's very lush and it's very green and fabulous. I've come down here today with the intention of filling a few gaps. Now, gaps in an allotment plot are just the most annoying thing in the world, and my first year and my second year I didn't know what to do with them. So I'll show you some examples. So here's the plot. Look how lovely and lush and growing it all is. Everything's just really taken off. I'm pretty confident it's because of the amount of rain that we've had, and also the temperature is quite good. I mean, it's like probably about 19 degrees right now, but it's just cloudy and we're due more rain. So just this kind of perfect temperature for stuff to grow basically, which is what we want, you know, it's what we want. It's just that we would also like a little bit of sun, please, you know, so we can sit in it and actually enjoy our gardens. For example, this bed here had all of my broad beans in it. Now I have tried to regrow stuff. I had rows of carrots, unfortunately they got eaten. I've recently put in a couple of rows of mibuna, which is an excellent crop to put in at this time of year. We've got the French beans at the back not doing very well, but can you see how kind of this bed now is just sort of empty, dead space? So down here are supposed to be leeks. I'm pretty sure I planted them. I can see a few coming up, but they're not doing great. I think I might bring my other ones here and just plant them all out. I mean, the ones that are still in are still alive, except the ones that my kids flattened when they were here last time. But yeah, they might turn into something, you know, because they've not died. And if they're alive, they're not died. So it looks alive, doesn't it? If it's bouncy and alive and green, it's probably doing all right, you know. But I'm going to bring the rest of them and hopefully have some leeks here. But having said that, you see how like the leeks are here? Well, here's a bit of a gap, isn't it? So we've got the Californian poppies, but they're happy sort of going that way. That, I don't know what that is. That's some kind of broccoli or brassica I've just whacked in. But there's a lot of space around here that we could potentially put something in. So this video is going to be all about filling in those horrible little spaces that appear in August time, and you just think, oh, the plot's coming to an end now, I better cover it all over. It's like, no, there's still time to put some crops in. So I'm going to show you what I'm putting in. Scared me then. All the power tools are out today, so we'll try and film around them. Why? So there are lots of things that you can sow in August that will do really well. I like to think of August kind of the same way that I think of spring. Oh, why are you wobbling? Yeah, I like to think of August the same way I kind of think of early spring. So the weather's kind of going to be a little bit cooler than maybe it is in the height of summer, particularly this year. We just seem to be getting slightly cooler weather, but we've still got a lot of sun, and then we've got a lot of rain as well this year. So I think of it like that basically, and that means it's quite good condition for crops that kind of like cooler weather, but they need that long sunlight and they need lots of rain and stuff. So for that reason I have chosen to plant in some spring onions, and this is the white Lisbon from Mr. Fothergill's, which I think came free with the magazine. So I've got some spring onions to go in. They should do really well at this time of year. Also got some radishes. Radishes, the only time radishes don't do well is if the ground is frozen over and it's ice and you literally just cannot even dig into the soil. It's not going to do well. Or in really hot weather, so right in the heart of summer. They don't like that because they bolt really quickly, which means they throw up flowers. So this weather, where it's kind of cooler but we've still got a lot of sunlight, this is perfect for radishes. Radishes will love this weather. You can go in today, mate. And I also found half a pack of carrots. So if you don't know the story of my carrots, I put in some carrots. They did really well. They all germinated. 2 rows came up. We had a lot of rain. All the slugs came. They ate all my carrots. So I'm going to re-sow those 2 rows of carrots. And I've now put in a couple of rows of Mabuna around there too. Mabuna's really good. Mizuna, really good crop at this time of year. And there's a lot you can whack in. However, you know, like I always say, be inventive, be creative. Don't always take the back of the seed pack as like at face value, basically. Experiment. You know, I had planted courgettes at the beginning of August and got courgettes to harvest in October when we've had a particularly warm autumn. So, you know, the world is your oyster. If you've got a seed, whack it in. If you really want to see if something's going to grow, don't ask me about it. Just whack it in and see. You know, that's the best way of learning. So I think we're going to start with sowing these in the ground. Just going to flog my gloves one more time. So these are from COOLJOB, which is Think Green, and I have a new link below with a discount code. So if you put the discount code EMMAGLOVE in, you get some money off. These are 2 different gloves, but I've got so many I just throw them all together, just whatever I can find. But they're great gardening gloves. A lot of people always ask where I get my gardening gloves from. It's Think Green, and there's a link below with a discount code. You're welcome. Right. So I'm going to start by re-sowing the rows of carrots that got eaten by slugs. You can still see a few carrots coming up. I'm just going to re-sow along there. So wherever I see a little gap, it's going to do that. Whack in some more seeds. Yeah. And then we can live in denial and just pretend it never happened. Right, I think these are the same carrots. I think these are Autumn King, which do well in the autumn time, as the name would suggest. So Autumn King carrots going in. I think what we'll do is throw in some more slugless. Check the new rows a little bit more. It won't harm the soil or anything because it's all natural, so I'll just whack it over the whole thing. Hopefully the carrots that are already growing won't scare off the new carrots and tell them horrible stories about how slugs ate them all. Yeah, and hopefully that'll just fill in the rows of carrots. right, this might be quite a nice little place for some radishes, but also spring onions. I might whack them both in. I've got a feeling that slugs and snails don't like the smell of onions and garlic. Anything that smells too pungent. I think oregano as well, is that supposed to keep away slugs and snails? So if I sow the radishes in the middle and surround it by 2 rows of spring onions, maybe that will deter the slugs. I don't know though. This is the point of year where you just start trying everything. If somebody said there's a slug dance, an anti-slug dance, I'll probably start doing it in the middle of my plot. You know, you get a bit desperate at this time of year. Willing to try it all. Right, so we'll do 3 rows. A row for spring onion. A row for radish. There. And then another row for spring onion. These are the radishes I'm sowing. It's called Sparkler, and they're those little red ones. They're so cute. I love them. I like radishes because their seeds are nice and big. I can actually see what I'm doing with the seeds. Not that I ever sow thinly, even when I can see them, but you know. It's nice to think I've got the opportunity to do it right, even if I don't take it. Right, radishes. These are spring onion seeds. I don't like these. These look weird. They look like little dead dried up bugs. Right, we're going to have to sow these quite thin. There we are. 1 row in. You can't see them because they're the same colour as the bleeding soil. You don't know where they are, what they're doing. In the pat. And then of course completely forget what I planted here, because I'm pretty sure something else went in here, didn't it? I've forgotten what it was, so it's gone now. It's already dead to me. This down here that I'm growing this year is called, I keep wanting to call it perennial spinach, but it's not. It's called perpetual spinach, and I'm sure I've grown it before by accident a couple of times. I didn't really use it. I used to give it to my guinea pigs and they used to love it, but I've never really tried it properly before because I'm not a big spinach fan, and I sort of thought, oh, just grow it for the guinea pigs. Anyway, I got given some for free this year by Sarah Raven. Basically I'm working with them over on Instagram, so I whacked in all these lovely little plug plants. They've just gone absolutely crazy. They look absolutely fantastic, they look great, they look healthy, but I have no idea what to do with them. For me to eat them. I don't have the guinea pigs anymore because they passed away, unfortunately, and I don't think my rabbit can eat spinach. I don't think he'd like it, so I'm going to try a little bit now and see what I think of it. It just looks like a leaf, doesn't it? Like, it is a leaf. It's not like a leaf, it is a leaf. I mean, most crops that you grow, like I said before in my last vlog, are just leaves that you eat, right? So how different can this leaf be from any other leaf? I'm about to find out because I'm going to take a bite of it. It really feels like just eating a leaf. It doesn't even feel like a crop, it feels like a leaf. Nah, it's not for me. It's not for me. It genuinely just tastes like something I shouldn't be eating. Maybe you shouldn't eat it like that. I don't know how you're supposed to eat it really. Maybe I'll Google it actually. Good old Google, eh? I should always Google this stuff before I just stuff stuff in my mouth, but I always just assume you can eat everything raw, like every vegetable in its raw state, but I guess you can't. Like, I wouldn't bite into a swede or a potato, do you know what I mean? So I don't know why I do it to myself. It says you should cook it like any other spinach. It also says that it's a little bit more bitter than normal spinach, but it's mild. It says fresh young leaves can be used raw in salads. So maybe I chose too big a one. Let's have a look for a little one. Let's try that again. So I think these bigger leaves, these need to be cooked, and I think they're supposed to taste a bit bitter. So this is good news, so I understand now. And I'm guessing the little ones, the little leaves are down here. I'm going to choose a really little leaf. So this should be able to be eaten in a salad raw. So let's try this one. So I'm expecting a bit more of a bitter taste now, so this should go a bit better. It feels better already. Okay. I don't love the bitterness of it. Not gonna lie, it's not my favourite. Yeah, not bad, not bad, not terrible, not great, not my favourite. 5.5 out of 10, I think. Yeah. Literally only a few days ago I had to cut some of the wire to let this big pumpkin through. Look how big it's got since then. So if you watched the vlog where I actually had to cut this open, I think it was last Monday's vlog, so it's been about a week, and it's so big now, but it's still hanging on really well, and it's just hanging through here. I've also got loads and loads of other pumpkins growing. So down here I've got one over there as well. This plant's also doing really well. There's one here, and then they've got a few more little ones coming up the archway. There's a couple up here as well. Just cannot believe how well the archway is doing this year. It really has just completely taken over my entire archway. It's amazing. However, down here I did sow a giant jack-o'-lantern pumpkin, and it seems to have got a little bit lost in the foliage down here, so I want to make sure he's okay. I'm pretty sure that he is this pumpkin here, and the leaves are starting to go a little bit funny. Now it might have a different coloured leaf, to be honest, because it's not the same type of pumpkin as these ones here, but I feel like it's a little bit nutrient deficient, and I think it might need a bit of a feed, because obviously with three big pumpkin plants taking over this bed, you know, nutrients are going to be running low, so I better feed him. I think this is my big pumpkin, and obviously I've stepped on him a couple of times. I'm really sorry, mate. I think this is the only pumpkin growing on the big jack-o'-lantern plant. I think it's called a giant pumpkin, not a jack-o'-lantern, but that's what I call them. I think this is Baby Boo. Yeah, I think that's the only pumpkin we've got growing on this one, so we better feed him and look after him. Bees just love these flowers, don't they? They just love them. So I'm going to feed him with a homemade stinging nettle feed, which absolutely reeks. It's in here. You've probably seen me make it a few times, but it's really easy. You whack some stinging nettles into an old container, fill it up with rainwater, so it absolutely reeks. And then what you do is you dilute it into a watering can with just rainwater. So this has got some rainwater in, and then all we do, pour some of our magic mixture in. And that is a really good pumpkin feed, and it's obviously really cheap. I mean, it's free for me because I've got loads of stinging nettles around, but you can also feed your pumpkins with the liquid seaweed as well. It's up to you really. Hopefully it'll make him, you know, come alive again. Not that he's dead or anything, but you know what I mean. I want him to be really good. A lot of you left comments on one of my latest videos about saying that you've got a lot of ants at your plot as well. I've just uncovered another red ant nest. Just noticed behind me that there are some blackberry bushes, some lovely blackberries growing, so I'm going to pick one and try it because it's on my plot technically. I could just say that I've grown these on purpose. No one's going to know. Not sure how sweet they are at this time of year. I'll try it anyway though. Oh my goodness. Finally, I've eaten something randomly at my plot and it tastes amazing. I'm going to get another one. Oh my gosh, they're perfect. They're perfect at this time of year. I've done it. I found the perfect time of year to pick them. They're not sharp at all. They're super sweet. Oh, they're amazing. I'm going to pick some and take it home and make an apple and blackberry pie. They are absolutely gorgeous. Go pick your blackberries. I don't often show lots of those kind of mundane jobs of the plot, like weeding and like cutting things back, because it's boring to do and it's probably quite boring to watch. So sometimes I show little snippets of it. Just know that I was doing that for over an hour then, and so if you are on your plots and you just feel like all you're doing right now is cutting things back and weeding and doing all those boring jobs, you're not alone. And it is a very real part of an allotment plot, and it's a part that I don't always show just for entertainment purposes. It's not that interesting to see me chopping things back so much, but it is part of it, and it's, you know, you're not alone, you're not the only one doing it. It helps to put some headphones in, listen to some music or something, or just, I don't know, try and get in the zone and let it kind of take your mind off of stuff. But it is just one of those very realistic jobs that we all have to do at an allotment plot. So yeah, again, just trying to keep it real on here and show you the real honest side of an allotment, because I know a lot of you are getting new plots at this time of year and want to see a realistic view of what it's actually like to have an allotment plot. So it is a lot of work, and there are a lot of mundane, boring jobs. There's also a lot of fun jobs and a lot of cool stuff that you can do, and it's all very, very exciting at this time of year, and you can harvest stuff. It's all fun, but there's also the boring side of it. So I hope I showed you that well enough today, and don't feel alone if you feel like that's all you're doing right now, because it is August and there is a lot of weeding to do. Hope you enjoyed my vlog today. If you did, give it a like, leave me a comment below, let me know what jobs you're up to on your allotment plot right now, and I will see you again in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.